Okay, so we got the feet. Here we got the feet kind of pretty solid as it walks through. And again, that's why we said we got to make sure the feet move in even increments as they slide backwards. Page down, that heel kind of locks down there. The front toe stays pretty locked. There might be a little slippage, but the heel's going. So, there's some variables involved, how big you drew the feet, how even they move back. But you want to get as close as possible. So once you get it there, I'm going to zoom out. And just see how it looks walking through. And the feet aren't sliding there. Okay, so once we have that working well, then we can set up the next composition, our final composition, and bring these elements into it and make them 3D. And this is something new that we haven't done yet in After Effects, those that have taken the class, and build that multi-plane effect. So I'll turn my trees back on. I don't need the wolf. I don't need that part. So what I'm going to do is make a new composition that's going to be the final size of my exported movie, my final movie. So I'm going to go to Composition, New Composition. I'm going to call it, this is going to be my LP 4, my name. And it's going to be walk cycle. And we do have to do this 3 different ways. We're going to have it walk right through the scene. We're going to have the camera follow it. And then we're going to have it one time walking without any background, so we just can pay attention to the walk. So I have 3 different ways of seeing this. So this one I'm going to call walk cycle pan. So we're going to pan the background along this first one that I'm going to do. So I have that. I want to change the width to 720. And I'm going to make my height at 540. And my frame rate's still going to be 12 and still going to be 5 seconds long. So those elements won't change. Just the end result, my end movie size is going to be 720 by 540. So I hit OK. And it created this new composition here. And what I want to do is copy and paste these elements into this composition. So I'm going to come back to the background pan that we were just working in. Let's open this up a little bit and see what we have here. So what I want to bring in, I don't need to bring in the 720, 540. I have that. I do want to bring my trees. I don't need to bring this wolf sample. I have the character scaled and he's walking across the screen. My midground, my mountains, and my sky. So I will select all these. I'll hold the shift key, select them all. Then I hold my control key and I can deselect the wolf. So I have the elements I need. And when they're selected, I'm going to just do a Control C or Command C to copy them. I could do Edit Copy up here also. You can see it's on the Mac, it's Command C. On a PC, it's Control C. Windows-based computer. Come back over to this new composition I just made. Select in the layers area here. Just click there once and do a Command V, Control V to paste them. So we pasted all these elements in here. And our character walks out of screen. And this is where it gets fun. We get to make these elements 3D elements. And we are going to have to scale some things and move things up. What I'm doing is opening up this window here so I can see. What I want to do is make these elements 3D. So I am going to click on the 3D icon, which is this little cube here. If we roll it, 3D layer allows this layer to be manipulated in 3 dimensions. So underneath that cube, that's on the main heading here, for each layer, I'm going to turn on that cube. And The background layer, I could or couldn't turn it on. We'll leave it on and show you what we do depending on what you have there. So we'll leave it on. So they're all 3D. And now what we need to do is to set them up in space. And I'm going to look at this. So I have this, I'm in one view. I'm going to zoom up on this a little bit. Maybe about there. Move it over here for right now. And I want to see another view. So you guys are, how many of you guys, show of hands, are working in the Intro to 3D class? Some, right? Is that way with Joe? You guys doing a 3D stuff there? So you know you look at multiple views, right? So you can see your objects in multiple angles because now you're dealing with not just a flat 2D space. You got the 3D space you have to deal with. So in After Effects, you can look at some different views. Real estate wise is about as much screen space. I like just using 2 views. So right now by default we're in this 1 view. So in the drop down menu where it says 1 view, I'm going to choose 2 views horizontal. And I'm going to bring this one over. And whatever view that I'm working in that is being highlighted, it has these little orange triangles in the corners. And that's telling me I'm in the active camera view. So this is what my camera will see in the active camera. If I come over to this view, I have the little triangles in the corner. It's telling me it's the top view. So now I'm looking at this from above. And what I want to do is space out. I want to push my mountains way back in space to give them distance, and I'm going to bring my trees forward to give them a distance, and I'll leave my midground and my character right there in the center. But by spreading these things apart, it's going to create that illusion of depth and space. So I'll start with the sky. I'll click on the sky layer. And one thing that we're not seeing, let me zoom out here and see. There is a little widget here. Let me pan over and zoom up. If it was a normal size 3D, this background's so long, this little widget's in the center of the background, it's off screen. But I could manipulate it by touching it here. What I'm going to do is manipulate it by using the controls that come with here. There's one other thing I want to do first, but I'm just letting you know they are these little widgets. You have the Z, the Y, and the X. So we have 3 dimensions that we're working with. In 2D, you have X and Y. X is side to side, Y is up and down. Now that we're in 3D, we have the Z plane, which comes towards us or goes away from us. So let's come back over to this, see what we have going on. What I do want to do first is bring my camera in. So I have my camera set. So as I'm doing this, I'm doing it to my camera. So to bring a 3D camera into After Effects, we go to Layer, New, Camera. So Layer, New, Camera. And you get this dialog box. We're going to make this, for this project, a 1-node camera. You have a choice for 1 or 2 node. I think by default it may come as 2 node, so just change it to a 1 node. It's a little easier to work with first time you're working with 3D. And the preset will set to 35 millimeter. It's a decent size, and a lot of old films shot at 35 millimeter, so that's good. 35 millimeter there. So those are 2 key things when we set up our new camera, that it's a 1-node camera, the preset to 35 millimeter. Enable depth of field. We'll leave that off for now. We'll maybe come back later and look at it. The depth of field is like certain things are in focus, so certain things are out of focus. For right now, I'm going to leave that off. And I'm just going to click OK. Lock to zoom, I'll leave clicked. The rest is default, we don't need to worry about right now, so hit OK. So I put our camera in, and our camera is focusing right in the center here. And let me zoom out so we can kind of see our camera. Here's my camera and what it's seeing. It's seeing the whole edge of this page. So this is what my camera is seeing over here. My active camera is seeing this frame. Just to see something, if I zoom this up, I'm going to take the Z axis and push the camera in. You see what it's doing over in the right frame. If I pull it back, you see what it's doing. I'm going to do a Control Z, Command Z, bring it back to where it was. For right now, I'm going to keep my camera still for there, and I'm going to move my background elements. So I like to have my camera, because I have my sky highlighted, to put the camera in here. I like the camera to be at the top of my layers, so I'm just going to take this and drag this up to the top. The camera's there, and now I want to push my sky back in 3D space. So I'll select it. It's hard to tell, but it is selected here. And then I'm going to hit the letter P to bring up my position properties. And it says position here. And then I have the X, Y, and Z position. So if I'm pretty sure if I go to the right here, it's going to push it back in space. And I'm visually able to see this here. So I'll bring this down. And I'm going to scrub these by getting that double arrow, that little pointer finger, and I click and drag to the right, and I'm bringing that sky back in space. And it doesn't matter that I'm going off of the black there. I just want to bring it pretty far back in space. Now, if you look over to the right here, it did shrink it down because it's that much further away from the camera. It doesn't have a lot of detail on it, so what I'm going to do is use my scale and blow it up so it covers the frame. So with that sky selected, I'm going to hit S for scale, and I'm going to scale this upward, and then I'll go back to P for position, and I'll move it over this way a little bit just to make sure I have enough on the right hand side. I know I don't need any more on the left, so I'm going to move it as far as to the left. I could scale it just a little more, just make sure it doesn't cheat out on me. So something like that. Pretty good. Hit back to P. Move it over. So this is my background. My sky's there. That's good. I have a lock icon here. I can lock that layer so I don't move it again. Just for the time being, I'm going to lock it. I'm going to come to my mountain, and I want to push my mountain. My midground's going to stay here. My sky's pushed back, so I want to push my mountains back somewhere in here. Hit P. So push that back in space. Now my mountains are going back. And I can push them back even a little further there. And they shrunk also, so I am going to scale them up. I could grab it here, bring it over. I think I am going to scale it, though, because I want to make sure I have enough at the other end. And I may end up having to scale it again once I come down to the other end. We'll see. But I'm going to scale that up. Move it over. I can move it all the way over to here because I'll never see here. I'm only want to make sure I have enough going this direction. And where it's positioned in here next to my character, I can even make it a little higher up. So I have that with the mountains. And then my character and my midground, they're going to stay right where they are. Oh, save early, save often. I'm going to take my trees and I'm going to bring them forward. Now I'm only seeing one of the trees, so I can scale them up. Again, we can fix things as we go, but I'm going to hit the P for this one tree. P for position. And instead of scrubbing this to the right, I'm going to scrub this to the left. And it's going to bring that tree towards me. I could move it over here so it doesn't start right on my character. Kind of move it over to the side here. So I moved that 319. I like even numbers, so I'm going to do a minus 300, actually. Slight difference there. So if I did that one minus 300, if I want the other one to even be closer or not, I'm going to look at the other tree. Hit P for that one. And I'll do a minus 350. Just see what that does. And I won't be able to really see too much now until I do my camera move. And I might have to come back and fine tune some of these. but it's a good starting point. So right now, if I pan across, the guy walks off screen. So what I want to do is have my camera follow the character as it walks through this scene. So I want to set keyframes on my camera. I like where I'm starting. My character's a little bit off to the left, not really center screen. I could maybe cheat it over to the right a little bit more. So let's take a look at my camera. I'm going to choose position on that. And if I take my X position, which is right here, I could move it this way just a little bit. My character is kind of in that rule of thirds, kind of over to the right of the left of the frame, excuse me. I like where I'm starting there. So that start position, I'm going to hit my stopwatch to initiate my first keyframe. So I have that. Now I'm going to go to the end of my composition. So I hit the end button, or I'll drag this timeline indicator all the way to the end. I'm at the end of the composition. I don't see my character, but I'm on my camera level. I had set my first keyframe here. So now as I move my the X position of the camera, so I want my camera to just move along the X axis. It's going to move along to the right to find my character again. I'm going to scrub it along the X axis here, holding the shift key. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it, move it, move it. Oh yeah, there's a song like that, right? Till I find my character again and I line them up here. So I have them right there. Kind of where he was, where I started, about the same point in the frame. And now I can do a little test to see what I have. So what I'm going to do is do a RAM preview to see what I have. It's building it up. And here's my character walking through. And there's some depth going on. And let's see if we can see the subtleties in the depth. So he starts off here. And the kind of things we want to look at, remember we talked about where this peak of this mountain is and see that little crease in this bush? And then we have this double hump on these bushes here and where our tree is. As we move through this scene, you'll see that they do change positions. Let's find something else. So I have the peak of this mountain and the this one lump of that bush. So I step through it. Yeah, and it's pretty subtle. It's not moving that much different. The trees are. It's kind of moved a little bit. So what that's telling me, maybe I could push my mountains back further. Let me see if did I lose my mountains anywhere in here at the end. My mountain level is here. And I still have more space on the mountains over here. So I could push those back further. I think I may want to try that. So just to get more depth in my mountains, just see if I get a little more of that parallax panning on here. So I'm going to, as at 307 here, I'm going to push him back. Oh, I went past, what happened there, I went past the sky. So that's not good. I'll go back as far as the sky. And then I'll take my sky and I'll push that back a little bit also. And I don't want to make sure I don't lose the sky there. So I'll come back to the start frame, see where the mountains are. I'm still seeing mountains. I'm not seeing the edge of the mountain screen, I don't think. It's close. It's right there, but I'm not seeing the edge. Come back to K. The mountain's way over there, so I could come back to J, and I could move these mountains over to this way a little bit. So now I'll come back to one view. Zoom up on my guy a little bit. And let's see what we have here. So now that parallax is a little more emphasized. So let's take a look at it. Step through. Let's find something a marking. Let's say we got these two humps. I don't know if that's a good marking here. They kind of go there. Okay. So now we have this little hump here on the bushes, and the peak of the mountain are pretty lined up with each other. As I step through, you see that this one is moving faster in the foreground. The background's moving slower because it's further away from us. Again, it's subtle. So that's kind of where you want to just work your distances and pull, see what you have to do there. Takes a little bit of working it, but it is worth it at the end. You get that feel, and the tree moves a lot faster. So the tree's there, covers through it. So things in the foreground definitely move faster than things in the background.